Since I'm constructing a computer and gaming museum in my office room, one of the things I worry about by having these things out in the open is that they may continue to fade colors or turn yellow due to exposure to UV light. And while it's possible to reverse that process as I demonstrated in a previous video, it would be better to avoid the problem altogether. In my room, I essentially had two sources of UV light. First was from my windows, and the second was from my overhead fluorescent lights. If I were using compact fluorescent, the solution would be simple. I would just move to LED-based lights instead. But that wasn't so easy with these type of fixtures. But I discovered they make a product called UV tube guards. These claim to block all UV light. So I decided to perform a test on one of them. This object is fluorescent, meaning it will glow under UV light. So first I used a regular flashlight and shined through the tube. You can see that it does not really block any of the visible light. Next, I used this high-power UV flashlight and performed the same test. You can clearly see that the tube is blocking the UV light. So the next step was to take out the bulbs of my overhead lights, and then I inserted them into these tube guards and snapped the little caps back on the end. Then I put the tubes back into the fixtures, and you can clearly see that they fit fine and still work perfectly. So the next thing to do was deal with the windows. I went to the hardware store and looked at the window tint. I found some that claimed to block 95% of UV light. So I bought some and decided to perform a similar test to make sure the product works as advertised. I tried with the UV light again and saw that it did block most of the UV light. In fact, that purple light that you see left over is technically visible light that's being let through, since most UV lights produce a small amount of visible light along with the UV. So the last part of my project was to install the window tint on the windows. After finishing this, it should be safe to display just about any piece of equipment I want to in my museum now without worrying about it fading colors or turning yellow.